It's a new year and a new chance for you to make a fresh start with your compliance. For the next 31 days on the FCPA Compliance Report, we're going to be bringing you a daily tip, strategy, or idea that you can use to improve your program. Here's your host, Tom Fox, the Compliance Evangelist.
This month's sponsor of 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance program is Affiliated Monitors. Founded in 2004, Affiliated Monitors provides professional, independent integrity monitoring and ethics and compliance assessments nationally and internationally and across almost all industries. With its knowledge of effective ethics and compliance programs and cultures, Affiliated Monitors is respected for its work as the corporate monitor on matters ranging from multinational corporations to small and mid-sized companies and even individuals. Having served in over 750 monitorships, no one has more experience as an independent monitor than the team at Affiliated Monitors. For more information on how an independent monitor can help improve your company's ethics and compliance program, visit this month's sponsor, Affiliated Monitors, at www.affiliatedmonitors.com. Finding compliance patterns in raked leaves. We have previously considered how AI can be used as a business advantage for compliance. The power of AI can extend the more traditional function of prevention, detection, and remediation. The first way is in simply the mass amount of data which could inundate a compliance practitioner. Many compliance practitioners are overwhelmed about the amount of information available to them and do not even know where to begin. Patrick Taylor has said that AI allows the compliance practitioner to understand the subtle clues in the pattern of activity that will clue me in to take a look at something different. He likened it to seeing patterns in raked leaves, which allows you to then step in and take a deeper dive and broader look at an issue, either through an audit or an investigation. This is where the compliance practitioner can step back and literally keep an eye on the big picture and longer term, as opposed to just immediate numbers and information in front of them. It may be the best hope for finding that kind of systemic fraudulent behavior. This speaks to one of the difficult issues for the compliance practitioner, which is, what does all of the information mean? Consider the example of GSK in China. The Chinese business unit employees were working en masse to create fraudulent reimbursable invoices, inflating the cost of industry events to create a pool of money to pay bribes. They would stage an event around a drug product or service in a hotel. They would then inflate the hotel charge 20% above the actual cost and submit the entire amount to the corporate office for reimbursement. In some cases, GSK employees would submit invoices for events which never took place. Now layer on top of these deceptions the rampant sale of fake receipts. For every Marriott hotel the Chinese business utilized, personnel could buy an official Marriott receipt which showed the price was paid and acted as backup documentation for the auditor to look at on that expense report. Finally, there was the illegal sale of Chinese government official tax stamps to tier on another level of complexity. AI could provide compliance the opportunity to detect even this type of massive and systemic fraud because statistically those charges would not make sense. The reason this type of fraud can be so difficult to detect and prevent is that the charges are on credit cards, so recorded, and there was a paper documentation to back up the charges. Standard modalities of fraud detection will not assist the compliance practitioner when the employees and their management are all in on the fraud. You just know that something does not make sense and you must look to the anomalous patterns. AI allows a compliance professional to gather and compute statistics across a wide variety of customers, situations such as geographic, business unit, and time dimension. Using these multiple data points, you can analyze what is reasonable amount to spend at a hotel or other venue, such as variables as the time of year, as some cities have tremendous seasonality in their hotel charges. Other gifts, travel, and entertainment spend, such as transportation costs, do not have such variability across seasons. It allows you to pull geographic, time, type of expense, and even specific vendor statistics for a big picture analysis. In a broader manner, consider all of the data points in the life cycle of a business transaction, which produce data analytics for the compliance practitioner. These data points include when the business person It makes an initial call on a potential customer when a request for proposal comes to the organization, when the request is formulated and pricing is proposed with discounts, during any subsequent contract negotiations, post-contract obligations for travel and training, and continued business development contacts with customers after the contract is signed. Each of these steps provide data which, taken singularly, might not raise red flags or even outside company specifications, but taken as a whole, it might be a transaction which would lend itself to compliance oversight. Start with the employee and their spend. Even if that information is not available to the compliance department, it is available from employee reimbursement requests. From a compliance perspective, is the employee entertaining a foreign government official? If so, what is the aggregate spend on any one such official over a 12-month period by one employee? What is the spend on a particular state-owned enterprise official by several company representatives? Has there been travel involved or a tour company involved? If so, what was the aggregate spend and was it correlated with other spends? Moving on to the contract negotiations, which might take place, were any discounts offered outside the standard discount ranges? If so, were the discounts properly vetted through the internal company process? Was the process documented and was there senior management sign-off? Did the customer suggest the use of any third parties as suppliers to the prime contract? Were there charitable donations requested by the customer? Were there any charitable donations made during any part of this process or within 12 months after a successful contract negotiation? Was the contract properly vetted and required by internal processes, i.e. management, legal, finance, and compliance? These are some of the data points which can be used to analyze to determine if any compliance issues arose, but they also provide the company with a wealth of information on its internal efficiencies around sales and their corresponding process. So what are today's 3 key takeaways? Number 1, do you know what your information means? Number 2, AI can help both to detect and prevent prongs in a best practices compliance program. And 3, never forget, AI can help you see the patterns in rake leaves. I hope you will enjoy the entire month on innovation and compliance in this month's offering of 31 days to a more effective compliance program. If I could ask you to do so, would you pass on to at least one person this podcast series on the nuts and bolts of compliance, as I'm trying to expand my audience base for 31 days to a more effective compliance program. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow, where I take up another topic in innovation and compliance. Thanks again for listening. 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance Program is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.